Hello, everyone, and welcome to my first live stream broadcast. My good friends have shared I need to use this awesome platform and broadcast it all across social media, and it will live there forever. So, what I wanted to do was to start a Wellness Wednesday broadcast, and I'm going to plan to do this every single week just to check in with you because there's so much going on in the world. There's just so much stress that people are feeling. And it's not just money and it's job related stress, it's economic stress, it's relational stress, it's social stress, it's environmental stress. So I wanted to do something different. I wanted to go out and kind of share my philosophy a bit more when it comes to living healthier, wealthier, and happier, and bringing in a practice that has kept me grounded and has kept me allows me to cope with all the daily stresses of life. And so with that said, each week I'm going to explore a specific topic, and it's going to be 10-15 minutes. So it's a very short live stream each week because I know we all have busy lives. There are a lot of things happening. And so I want to honor your time, but I also want to give you something actionable. I want to give you something that can help you be healthier, be wealthier, and be happier. With that said, I my book has released, Happy Money, Happy Life, multidimensional approach to health, wealth, and financial freedom. If you haven't gotten yourself a copy, I do recommend you get a copy. This is not just a money book. This is a book about happiness that happens to talk about money. And I definitely think you will enjoy it, and you will get practical tips to help you cope with stress and also help you choose happiness along the way. Uh, as I mentioned, this is the first time. I know there's a few people that's on here, I believe, and so if you are, just say hello. And today's topic, what I want to talk about is job related stress. There are people who are stressed because they have been laid off, or they're stressed because they fear being laid off. I talked about this topic on Cheddar News Live, and I wanted to go a little bit more deeper into it. So, if you are feeling the stress because you've been laid off of a job, I want you to one to deal. It's about coping with your emotions. I understand you probably want something tactical. You probably want something immediate. But when it comes to losing your job and losing the work, losing your identity when it comes to your profession, it is so important for us to kind of check in with ourselves. I want you to check in with how you're thinking, how you're feeling, not just mentally, emotionally, but also physically. And so it's important for us to check in with ourselves because that is what's going to help us move forward. And checking in with ourselves doesn't mean like repressing or suppressing your emotions. You want to be able to express your emotions. And if you've been laid off, it's okay to be frustrated, to be angry, to be confused. That's okay. Those are all valid emotions that you can express, but you want to be able to perceive them in a specific way that's going to benefit you long term. And so there are some tactics that I want to share with you to help you do such a thing. And so I see here, Maria, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. And I see a LinkedIn user. I don't see your name, but welcome to my first live stream here. So today we're talking about how to deal with a layoff, or how to deal with the fear of being laid off, and what we can do mentally, emotionally, physically, and financially to prepare ourselves. So if you have been laid off, I want you to first to assess your current financial situation. Now, this is the budgeting process. This is understanding the income that's coming in, and that can include your severance package, that include unemployment benefits, any side income that you may have, because it's important for us to figure out how much money is coming in still. And so this gives us a bit of reprieve to know that we can potentially cover some of our basic living expenses. The other piece that I want to talk about is the expense part of it. So if you have been laid off, it is vital to start looking at your expenses and figuring out where to make cuts, where to start cutting back in some of the things that are non-essential. And certainly when you get back to full employment, you can start bringing in some of these things that bring joy and happiness into your life. But you want to really hone in to make sure that you can cover all the basic essentials. And what that does, it will help you mentally and emotionally deal with this life change that's happening when you've been laid off. The second piece, which I think is much more important, is really taking time to reset and relax. Most of us, I have been laid off. I want people to understand that I have been in a position where I've been laid off from work. So I totally understand the mental and emotional toll, and also what happens to our physical body when we've been let go from a job. And so I want people to understand that I feel you. I know what you're going through. And certainly mine has been years ago, and yours is right now at this moment. And I want to be mindful of that. But I also want to help you shift your mindset and know that most of us, when we are working full time, we tell ourselves and we tell others that we do not have time to do the things that matter to us. We don't have the time to fully sleep. We don't have time to spend with our family and friends or into passion projects. One of the benefit, and I say benefit loosely here in quotations, is that when we lose our job, we may lose our paycheck, but we regain back our time. And I want you to kind of shift your perspective in terms of what you can utilize that time. And that time can be used to rest, to reset, to relax, because chances are you have been overworked, you are underpaid, you are overwhelmed, you're exhausted. And now you have this life change when it comes to your employment status. And it seems like a snowball effect. But what you have regained is your time, and time for you to sleep in, time for you to read the book, time for you to just really relax and kind of feel all the feelings, and then eventually start getting to work to find that new job that aligns with your values. I think that is important, and that is essential and vital here. I do want to say hello to some of us who've joined us because it is a live. Ronald, hello, welcome. Maria, I do remember you from Tyco HR, and I wrote about another Tyco HR person in the book. So one of the key things that I've realized when it comes to being laid off myself, and for those who are sharing that they've been laid off, is that loss of identity, loss of a sense of self, because society has told us that we need not we need, but society has shared with us that our self worth is based on our salary. It's based on our job title. So when we lose our salary, when we lose our job title, guess what happens? We lose our sense of self. And when we lose our sense of self, it is very hard to be us, to really be kick ass when it comes to going on interviews, when it comes to doing the work that we need to do to get to find a new job. And so for me, it's really essential and vital to talk about mental and emotional well-being when you are experiencing a job loss, or when you are fearing that you may potentially lose your job. And it is about strengthening our mind. It's about managing our emotions so we can deal with these situational changes and also heal from them. And for me, my goal is to help you along the way. I do talk about money, I do talk about finances, because money weaves itself into so many things. And there are certainly things that you can do to be better prepared for the potential of losing your job. And if you have been laid off and you're not financially prepared, there is a great deal of financial stress that you are experiencing. And it is a bit more challenging to take time off to rest and reset when you have bills to pay. And so that doesn't help you. So there are a couple of things that you can do if you have lost your job and you have some financial issues that you need to address. One of those things is to, one, as I mentioned, go through the budgeting process, understand the income that is still coming in. That's the income from your severance package, if you're getting one, the income from unemployment benefits, and also the income from any side hustles or side gigs that you've been doing. So you want to understand the income that's coming in, and then also start looking at the expenses that are going out. Then you want to look at these expenses and you want to start cutting back. You might start cutting back on some streaming services. You might start cutting back on things like non-essential stuff, like going out to dinner and things like that. So you want to go kind of base level budgeting where you're only focusing on covering your essentials. That's your housing, your food, your healthcare, in order for you to kind of reshift and refocus. And so I think that's important and vital there. The other piece, as I mentioned, is the time to kind of reset and relax. I think that's vital and important. So now, if you are scared of being laid off, I know there are a ton of news out there that there are more and more, thousands more people are being laid off in the tech industry. What I want to share with you is how you can prepare yourself for a potential change in your work situation. The first thing is to start an emergency fund. If you don't have an emergency fund is a savings account where you stash money away for emergencies. I've shared many times that emergencies happen. It's not a matter of if, but a matter of when an emergency happens. So you want to make sure you have about 6 to 9 months of basic living expenses in your savings account. And I'm not saying you need your entire paycheck per month into a savings account. It's your basic living expenses. So if your basic living expenses is $2,000 per month, then you would need for 6 months about $12,000 in there. It seems like a lot, but what you want to do is start now. If you don't have an emergency savings, you definitely want to start now and utilize. There are many online banks, online systems out there that you can use for better return. The other piece, and I have notes here because I want to make sure I cover everything that I want to, is making adjustments on your expenses. If you're hearing the rumors happening at work that there might be potential layoffs, you want to start looking at your current expenses and things where you can cut back. Again, what you want to do is to protect yourself financially. And here's the key thing: you may not be prepared mentally and emotionally from losing your work, but what we can do is lessen the financial impact by being prepared financially with the emergency savings and also cutting back on some non essential expenses. And what this does, it allows you to keep some of the money, the financial resources that you have in the event of this life change. So I think that is really important. And the other piece that I believe is essential and vital is that if you fear you may lose your job, start writing down a list of your accomplishments. Start writing down the projects you've worked on. Start trying to gather recommendations from family and friends. What you want to do is feel good about your work experience, feel good about your skill set, because that's going to help you shift your mindset from feeling like you were let go because you underperformed to understanding that was simply a business decision that was made by a company. And what you can do is take your skill set, take your network, take your experiences, and perhaps find a job that's more aligned with your core values. And that's why it's important for us to keep track of our accomplishments, keep track of the projects we've worked on, the skills we have, the experiences we have, because that will also lessen the stress that we experience and the stress that we feel. So that is my advice when it comes to it. Now, with that said, what I wanted to do, and I wanted to do something different. As I mentioned, this is going to be a 10-15 minute live stream every Wednesday, and it's a Wellness Wednesday. I want to introduce to you the power of breath work. Now, some people believe that we need to be healthy to do yoga. We need to have a clear mind to meditate. So what I found is that breath work is a bit more accessible to most people. And today, what I want to do is I want to share with you a breath work practice that I do. And this is called triangle breathing. And I want you to follow along. And if you're in a safe space, if you are at home, if you're even at your in an office or sitting at a desk, I want you to try this breath work. And what we're going to do is we're going to do three breath works using the triangle method. So if you can take a comfortable seated position where you are, and make sure you're safe and you're not driving or listening to this in any moving vehicle, I want you to take a nice seated position, tall back. You can roll your shoulders, allow it to fall gently towards the earth. And I want you, if you're in a safe space, close your eyes. Perhaps tuck in your chin towards your chest. And then allow yourself to just feel your body. Give yourself this moment to feel the aches, the pains, maybe some tightness in between your shoulder blades, Just become present and mindful. Now, I want you to notice your breath. I want you to notice your breath and where the air is coming into your body. Is it through your nose or you're breathing through your mouth? And just notice where the air is entering and where it's exiting. Breathing in through your nose and then exhaling. Release. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Fill your lungs up with air and open your mouth and sigh. And as you do this breath work, you're probably noticing the tension in your jaw, in your neck, perhaps your shoulders. That shows how much stress you're holding in your face. You might be also feeling the little brows, like the area in between your eyebrows are scrunched up. Breathe into them and just let it go. Now, I mentioned that I will be doing a breath work exercise with you. It's called triangle breathing. So I want you to picture an upside down triangle, like so. On one side, it goes up, and then there is a horizon, a flat base, and then it goes down on the third side. So as you envision this triangle, we're going to breathe 5 seconds up and then hold for 5 seconds. And then we're going to exhale for 5 seconds. We're going to do this 3 times. Let's follow along. Again, nice tall back. Sit comfortably. Your eyes closed, chin tucked. I want you to inhale 5 seconds, hold for 5, exhale for 5. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And one more time. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Congratulations. You have just done triangle breathing. Triangle breathing is great because what happens is that when we are stressed, when we are feeling the world all around us, we are holding our breath. We are not fully bringing in oxygen into our lungs, and that adds additional stress to our body, and that doesn't allow us to think. So when we are breathing those 5 seconds in and holding it, what we're doing is that we are manipulating the breath. We are telling our lungs to expand and allow air to flow in. And then we are exhaling those 5 seconds. That allows you to focus your attention and your mind on the exhale. And what this does, it will bring you to a state of calm and relaxation. So I do suggest whenever you feel overwhelmed, try the triangle breathing. Again, you can go back to the timestamp on here about the triangle breath. Imagine an upside down triangle and breathe in 5 seconds, hold it for 5, and exhale for 5 seconds. And you will feel a change in your body. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was enjoyable for you. And if you find this exciting and interesting, make sure you comment, make sure you share this video. I do plan to do a Wellness Wednesday, as I mentioned, every single week. Well, I will be introducing different healthy activities that you can do to shift your mind, your emotions, and also your finances so you can live healthier, wealthier, and happier. Again, I want to thank you all so much for joining me on my first live. Have a good one, and remember to share this video.